welcome to the American Outback for a guide to, with me, MrSealyp. The Gregoire Besson plough. That's what we're going to be looking at in this guide to. It won't be a particularly long guide to, it's a plough. It does what ploughs do, but it'd be nice to have a look, see what it does, open it up and all that kind of thing. So, very quickly, we'll have a look in the store. Under ploughs, we start off with the trailed lifter in the Big Bud pack. This has a 3-point hitch for tractors without one. The Big Bud doesn't have a 3-point linkage, so this is the connection between that, a trailer hitch and a 3-point linkage. And then you need the Gregoire Besson SPSL9. It is $130,000, pounds, euros to buy. It has a working width of 10.5 meters. It requires 550 horsepower, and if we click on it, there are two options available. You can have universal shares, which is a standard kind of plough share, and then you've got the finger body shares. I have leased one of each, so we can have a quick look at both of them. So it's a long piece of machinery. Has the beacon on the back for transportation, nice big chunky wheels, great details as ever with most of these new mods coming out. I mean, the bolts and bolt heads, and it is amazing. It really is. So yeah, you've got the trailed lifter here. This section hooks up to the normal trailer hitch and takes that to a 3-point linkage just here. So standard plowshares, you've got the normal kind of shaped, is it scalloped? Oh, is that the word for it? I'm not too sure. Kind of plowshare. The other version is the finger body ones, which I kind of briefly looked at the first look at the Big Bud pack, but these are more individual fingers. You get, is it 4 or 5 on each one? We'll go around to have a closer look on this one here without climbing up on it. Yeah, so these are more fingers than actual one sort of slab of metal. I think it kind of aerates the ground a little bit better, allows more to travel sort of through, and breaks up some of the bigger bits. I think that's the reason behind it. I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm sure someone will correct me and tell me what it's supposed to be for, but I think that's what it's for. So I've got both here. It's a big field. We can watch both in action. They're both going to do exactly the same thing. Something that was kind of mentioned to me, and this may be one of those things that everybody knows already by a very good subscriber of mine, Fragdad. Fragdad Facts, I get them quite regularly. If you run two machines up the centre of a field, if you want to have two machines running, whether it's harvesters, ploughs, cultivators, if you run them up the middle next to each other, when they get to the end they will both turn away from each other. I was always in the habit of sending one up and then seeing which way it went, then sending the next one. If you send them both together, when they get to the end they will both turn away from each other. That's how it works. But anyway, let's jump into the Big Bud and have a look at this. So, beacon in the middle there, as beacons often are. And if we open this up, it's quite hard to film it open because it's so big. If you go in too close you miss some of it opening up. I don't have, because it's not PC, I haven't got one of those drone mods where you can fly up in the air and you can, it's just obviously based upon what I've got. Now, it looks quite narrow now, but as the tractor unit moves forward it will swing around and come into its operating position, kind of like that, which you then start to see just how wide this thing is. Now obviously you can switch sides with the plough as well. So you turn the plough over, depending on obviously which way you're going with your furrows, if you start on the left hand side, right hand side, or that kind of thing. I'm going to start with this side. Now something I did notice, and it just made it easier for lining up, if you are using the Big Bud to do this and you get the twin wheel version, if you line up the outside wheel with where you want the plough to be, it actually works pretty much that this outside furrow lines up with that outside wheel. If you use a single wheeled one, it's hard to kind of gauge, you're out by a little bit, but if you use the twin wheel you can pretty much line up. It's rough, I mean it's almost there, but that's what I kind of found out. So if I just drive forward and lower the plough down, and as we move forward you'll see it start to swing into position. Now that's interesting because I don't recall putting allow create fields or limit that. So I've now just started ploughing extra bits. That's wonderful. That was not my intention. Now the problem is, because that's as far out as my camera will go, up here you can't see it in full detail, but if I come down you can really see the width of this working. I'll set work on that. Now I can get around a little bit and have a look. It is very, very wide, and it will make very, very light work of a field. Right, just stop that there for a minute and switch to the other one. So we'll open this out, and this will open out the other way now. You see the standard way. It opens automatically to the right, kind of right justified, and you can turn it over to the left. So what I will do now, if I line up my wheels with where that one is, hopefully, fingers crossed this will work. And if I set the worker off now, it pretty much lines up with that outside wheel. You'll see as it starts to operate. There we go. So we're pretty much spot on. There we go. So that's the plough working. This is the finger share one, and the other one is the standard one. A very, very good width on it. That's how it opens up. That's how it turns over. I'll go to the other one now. Back up a little bit. Has come over quite a bit actually. There we go. So now we've got them operating in tandem. I'm hoping if this works properly, they should, when they get to the end, switch over. That's going to take a little while. But they are an impressive sight when they are operating, and they are big. On a big field, they'll take a little while to do it, but it's a big plough. You use this big plough on a slightly smaller field, you're going to get through it in absolutely no time at all. So it is a cracking bit of machinery. In this big bud pack, I have to be honest, I am personally liking the machinery more than the big bud itself. I'm not a, you know, don't get me wrong, I do like the big bud pack. I think it's brilliant. If you look very closely, it's difficult to see actually, just to the left of the screen, you can see the prop shaft turning on the big bud. The detail on it is just incredible. It really, really is. I know this is on the plough, not the big bud itself, but see the prop shaft turning there. Fan going on the engine. It is absolutely amazing, the detail. But anyway, yes, back to the plough. The ploughs are great. They do exactly what they need to do. Nice and big, great width on them. A brilliant bit of kit. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's like a plough ballet, but they both turned away from each other. Now this is the only downside. I've said this numerous times with ploughing. I don't like these type of ploughs only because you get these triangles left at the end of the field. You have to go along later on just stick in another headland. It's not a major issue, but that's it. That is the Gregoire Besson plough. Does exactly what it says in the tin. It ploughs. It ploughs a very good width. At 9 miles an hour, it's not a bad speed. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it useful, insightful, even if it's just to see what it does and how wide it is. If you've enjoyed the episode, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to share the video, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.